Welcome back, everyone, to the Rogue Company Championship Series. It's Gormizer on the desk, and I've got GK sitting with me as we get forward in this bracket. The last one, I want to say of, like, I guess, quarterfinals, the far left side of it. There's 4 of them, and it's Right Turtle versus Rome's Bandits. Both of these teams performing really well yesterday. Right Turtle, clean sweep in their group, and Rome's Bandits on the other side go 2-1. At this point, you're still in the upper bracket, so a loss here isn't the end of the world, although your life does get a lot harder if you end up getting knocked down. And this one feels like it could be, again, a really, really interesting matchup here, GK, because you got a lot of power on Right Turtle, a lot of, like, just pop-off players that at any given moment can really stand out. But yesterday, we saw a lot from Rugi, we saw a lot from Hizzy, we saw a lot from Rome's Bandits that I think could still stand up to them.
You're so right, and I just have to comment on the last game we just saw. I'm still wired from casting that. That was absolutely insane, and I've just spoken to the boys. They're so happy with how they played.
Yeah.
Although they lost that, and in the very last second of the game of the round, right, 1v1, so much going on, they're still proud about how they played, and they did so much there. It was unbelievable. But like you said, we've got Right Turtle versus Rome's Bandits here. We've got a clash of the Titans once again. We've got a team that's very established and very good at doing what they do. And we've got Rome's Bandits who are very unpredictable and have great gun skill.
Yeah, and you can see winner of this one will go to play Blackhand. Talk about a prize, right? That is not necessarily going to be easy. The loser is going to play not too long from now, a little later today, up against Cinderella Story. And they will be the last one to clear out that round 1. Then we'll be jumping into the semifinals and start eliminating a couple more teams. Dwindling down already is the tournament. We can look a little bit more, though, at Right Turtle. I mean, you got to look at it. Like we mentioned a lot yesterday. I think there was a lot of talk about Prosper because of like the length of career in esports. So let's just shove Prosper off the ledge right now and look at the other two. Talk a little bit about Drew. Talk a little bit about MS, because both of these players, several times yesterday, had insane moments that were the catalyst of winning a round.
Let's go into it a little bit. Like you just said, right? MS and Drew, both very good at what they want to do, but also they're very good at playing multiple different rogues, right? So it's one of those things where they're so versatile, it's so hard to beat. But when they do lock in on the rogues they love, so much can be done on the battlefield. And MS, shout out to MS, he's looking like he might be coming for that MVP LAN position that Delena so-called gave himself last time, right? Also, Drew has done some crazy things before. I've seen him do 1v2s, 1v3s, the bomb down. So it's never you can never count yourself out, even if it's just Drew left on the map and it's 1v2 or 1v3. If the bomb's down, he can actually do it all.
And I think we saw moments like that yesterday for everyone on this team. Things were standing out and just going really well for them. Again, a clean sweep in their group, and now they get to play their first set of the day up against Rome's Bandits. But we can see how this team themselves are feeling. We've got Drew standing by for an interview.
Well, hello once again, Captain Atoka back with another interview, and I have Drew from Right Turtle. And of course, Drew, how are you feeling in today here in day number 2?
We're feeling very good as a team. I feel like we'll pop off today, and then we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, so they're already counting themselves into day number 3. But I gotta say, going into this next match, they already hyped you up on the desk. They were talking about Drew getting all these pop-off shots, these highlight reels. One thing that I noticed today is that we saw some more sniper rifle play. Can we expect maybe a couple of snipe shots from you going into day 2?
Possibly. It really depends how EMS is feeling, what rogue he wants to play.
Yep, fair enough. And as you're going up against Rome's Bandits, do y'all have a particular game plan going into this?
Not really at all.
Just going to go all out, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now I guess the final question I got to ask. So far, you guys are also the favorites and possibly one of those teams that many consider that can take on Blackhand. Do you think yourselves to be that team, or are y'all the #1 team?
We're the #1 team for sure.
Y'all taking it the whole distance?
Yeah.
Well, you heard it from the youngest player here at the Rogue Company Championship Series. Right Turtle is, in fact, the #1 team and the team to beat as we get ready to head into this next matchup between Right Turtle and Rome's Bandits. But until then, let's throw it back to the desk.
Hearing youngest player, there's a good career, I think, ahead of Drew
for sure.
at this rate. Playing this well, the way this team has looked. Again, Right Turtle is a team in that conversation a lot of people have had coming into this tournament with Blackhand as one of the best, if not the best. And I guess, theoretically, depending on how this set goes, we might end up seeing that just tomorrow. but they have to make it through Rome's Bandits first. Not an easy feat. They go 2-1 in their group yesterday. Their only loss is to the aforementioned Black Hand team. Otherwise, you've got Rugi, you've got Hizzy, again, a lot of good players on this team that had stellar moments there, but it was that consistency. I think when they went up against Black Hand, it was a hard matchup for everybody in that group. It's been a hard matchup for pretty much everyone until Ariel or Eyes just now.
Right.
And so this is one that you have to close that gap. That we were talking 7-1, 7-2, 7-3s. You can't afford that many losses in a row. You have to be able to figure out how to come back a little quicker.
Right, and Rome's Bandit have to come into this series, knowing what I've been saying all along is that there's no side that's favored against this team over here, okay? They have to do exactly what they want to do and play it perfectly. Everything has to be done perfectly for them to advance to the next stage, because Black Hand and Right Turtle are just the same. There's no side that is favored on this meta for them.
Well, we can take a look at the maps. The bans are going to be Canals, Favelas. Man, I feel we got a couple of Favelas out there, and it's gone again.
It's just my favorite
and
map
Skyfell has
of all
disappeared
time.
as well. Yeah,
And
if you enjoy it, then they have to get rid of it.
Right, and when we had it, it was so exciting. We had the fixers, we had the Scorch and everything. I think that's why, because it's so unpredictable. Anybody can do anything on that map. It's so small, you can rotate, and there's too many angles to cover in such a small amount of time on that map.
Well, we are going to be going to Lockdown. We've seen this one a few times at this point. A lot of versatility, I think, that we've been able to see as well. Fixer's already been taken off the board. Lancer seems like that's going to be the rogue that ends up joining him. So what in your mind is now the strategy? No sniper, at least one rusher taken away. Where are you going?
I think Ronan will be really big here because she can camp and hide at any position. Another rogue who's really, really strong on this map is Seeker. Now, it does get countered out by the Ronan, but it's a risk you might take sometimes. Another rogue really impactful on this map is Dima, and I will be surprised if neither of the teams pick one of them. And as I say that...
Yeah, you spoke it into existence, right?
Hey,
you
man.
said Dima, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, Dima sounds real good.
I really be playing this game. I know these guys as well,
Well, so far, we're getting the bouncing between. I saw, it looked like there was like a hover, at least a mouse hover over a Dallas there, which would have been, I think, really surprising.
Right.
They get the Dahlia, they get the Glimpse. Other side, it's the Chalk, the Talon, and the Glimpse as well. So only one rogue coming in twice, but we're going down to Lockdown for game number 1. We'll throw it over to the casters to take us through.
Thank you so much, Gore and GK. This is going to be a good one. Those picks are definitely a little spicy, but kind of what to be expected. And it is once again Heartbreaker. But joining me this time for the first time here in Atlanta is Radthor. It's going to be a pleasure to cast alongside you, sir. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited to get into this one. Excited to cast with you for the first time here at this LAN event. It's going to be a spicy one. Right Turtle versus Rome's Bandits. And one thing, before we get into it, I want to quickly talk about the Fixer ban. Not only is Fixer a very contested ban usually, but I think they target banned Rugi specifically here.
Oh, yeah.
He's the mouse and keyboard player. He's the person who can get on that sniper. He's opted for the Dima instead, going with the DMR play style, but I do think that was somewhat targeted.
Yeah, and so yesterday he didn't snipe as much. He actually went the DMR, but that was because he said he wasn't comfortable yet. He didn't have enough time to play. Well, this time they could play in the extra rooms. They've been warming up. They're getting a feel for it. Now it's like, okay, shut him down. Like, go ahead and close it off now. He might whip that out. Well, actually on this map, you won't be able to. We're going to go ahead and ban that Fixer. But these other picks, Drew over on the Glimpse, what are we thinking just in general about the comp that we're working with on both sides?
I think it's very, very, standard what I'd expect. We're seeing 2 Glimpses. That's a good dodge there. Drew found the pick on to Care really nice and easily there when they get out. Will it get revived? We will see in the next couple of seconds as Rugi finds a trade-off on to Drew there. But they're going to try and get the manual here. They see it contested. Never mind. He is saying no. That is going to be MS just jumping up. He's so aggressive. He's so good. And we see him find another one. He finds trying to find another one.
I just wonder where the support was. Where was Prosper throughout that? I mean, they had him low on top of the box, and that movement out of Rugi, that's the mouse and keyboard movement right there. That man was, that was a little dance move.
As a mouse and keyboard player yourself, I know you're going to be repping Rugi a lot through this when you see that sort of thing. But yeah, the strafe back and forward, the shots hitting, connecting. Prosper couldn't do much there. That was big trouble for Prosper, but hey, first round, we give them a bit of breathing room. We see how they continue throughout this map. But yeah, in terms of picks, as we were saying, I expected the double Glimpse. I think both these teams really like Glimpse. They like to be on fragging rogues, whether it be MS or whether it be Drew on the side of Right Turtle. And of course, we know Hizzy loves to get with something that can just run at somebody and be a nuisance. He's actually gone, I believe, for the Dahlia, which means it's falling onto KO for that. But it's the same similar sort of play style. We kind of expect either one of them to be on that fragging type rogue like Glimpse.
Yeah, Lockdown is a map map that when you're on the defense, it's kind of harder to be all aggressive, right? Like, it's definitely going to be difficult. So that's why you see that. But I expect when we swap sides, we may very well see him do that. And that shot right there, without force you out of tower anytime. You're up there getting a little dink on you. So, yeah, okay. I'll drop down. You can have this.
Absolutely. As we see this just contention, we see Prosper there on the DMR, on the Talon. Not a pick we've seen, I think, even at all today, but very little if we have. It's just there for that intel. It's good into a glimpse, obviously control an area. She's going to have to shoot it if she wants to move through undetected. And I will just talk quickly about the glimpse. What glimpse is so good about is post-plant. She can just run around. A lot of lockdown is post-plant when you get it down, and you want to play in that as Drew finding the first pick off onto Hizzy with that demon. Oh, it's huge, and we'll find Drew there as well.
So these trades going in either direction. However, one can still be res. The other has been taken out completely from this round. It's going to be Dahlia out in Glimpse. Still able to be brought back if they can get there. And there it is. There's that revive coming in. So maybe bring it to that 3 versus 2. Favoring the attacking team here of Right Turtle. But they do end up getting knocked in return yet again. There's been a lot of engagements just going every which way in this direction. But it's going to be Drew who says, that's enough. No more of that. Let's close it out. The young gun dropping the final player.
Absolutely. As I talk about post-plan, we don't even get to it. They're saying, you know what, we could have planted, but we're just going to play the aggressive thing. We got that pick. We're not going to give you the availability of a setup here, and we're just going to run at you instead.
Yeah, 2 rounds in. We haven't got a plant yet.
Absolutely.
Just bid, not let it happen.
Drew's get a bit hot there to take a jumper off just so that
after that round, yeah.
Hey, he's sweating. They're all sweating. This is the top winners bracket right up here. They need to be making sure they don't go down. We know Right Toe are feeling very confident, and they're going to go in with that with a lot of steam.
Oh, absolutely. And after watching that last match and knowing who's in front of you, you can't look ahead. You have to focus on the smash. Even knowing that Black Hand is the next team up, you have to win this one to get there. You have to focus up. You have to be in the zone. It looks like now we're seeing the aggression coming out very quickly, taking red control from EMAS. And he had somebody there with him. And then once he took the full control, they fell back. But Drew has already been knocked by that LMPX at range from Hizzy. But Hizzy then gets aggressive, rolls out. EMAS is there to punish it. KO in return, however. And this is just, again, these rounds have been so back and forth. But now the res is going for the other side of Rome's Bandits. 2 versus 3 yet again.
Yeah, and I said, this is a sort of trading I'm expecting to see from these teams who are so good with their weapons. That is going to be Rugi going down, but the res is available here again. It said 3 versus 2, so it's definitely going to be Right Tail at a disadvantage with numbers, but with the way they split the map and the crossfire we see from Prosper as he just about misses the last bullet to take down the Dima. Yeah, the fist bumps come down. They know they played that way. They know they played it in the way they had to, getting the shots off and getting the picks that were important.
That's one of those tough ones where you think if he has an AR, he gets that kill. If he hits the headshots, he gets that kill. But double body shot there, it takes too much time. There's the rate of fire is just not there. That's a nice shot, but I'm not sure exactly why he was so far in the open. Drew was just up there. Maybe he thought that people had been pushed off a site completely. That's the only thing. There must have been a calm. There must have been a site's clear. You're good. They have to peek in through the door, but Rome's Bandits, they hadn't given up sight yet. They were still playing up there in that site. They get Drew from behind, and that gives them the opening, the full kill. Now they have the man advantage, and they can kind of start to push in onto Right Turtle and win those fights. And this link onto the Dima is interesting. Like if you're going in there, your Glimpse or Dima is your linking option. Neither one is like exceptionally amazing, I guess, but Dima is probably the right pick there.
I mean, Dima definitely, especially if you're going to have Rugi moving so quickly and aggressively with his Dima, just keeping him alive may be part of the intention. But also, you know, throwing those grenades and getting that reveal off the grenades can be really vital. Obviously, he hasn't got the grenade just yet, so it's really more just for the survival.
And you're going.
That's
a big
Rugi
shot.
with a
That's that DMR. That's that DMR. He's putting it to good use. Rome's Bandits, Rugi there coming through with some big shot spots. Prosper hits another 33. That armor's gone for good now. Those of you at home who haven't played in a while, armor now, you cannot repair it. When you lose it, it is gone for good. So it's going to help you in that initial fight, but when you get tagged like that, and then you keep going, you're just a normal player at that point. You've just got your HP left, nothing else. The nade coming in, not going to make it quite far enough.
No, and what I will say about the Glimpse, specifically about Drew, he's been caught out of position twice now. We saw it in the previous round, we saw it just then again. He's just facing the wrong way. He's trying to cover angles, he's trying to look places, but it is going to be Rugi with the 2-tap with the Dead Eye that will take him down. A little dink-dink headshot with the mouse and keyboard will take him down nice and easy. And now they're in a bad position once again in a 3 versus 2. Bomb does go down though, so they're the time to play with. But will this be enough, as it will be MS and Prosper trying to hold down the fort against what will be a soon attack from Rome's Bandits?
Yeah, and I mean, these two players are definitely capable, right? There is no doubt about it. These players are some of the best players in the game. That's why they're considered to be some of the ones to win it. There was a nice little trade right there, but ultimately, again, when you're trading and you're already a player down, like any trade is not going to favor you, and those are some nice shots from KO. Just able to peek around that corner, just keep firing with a weapon with that sort of power, that sort of damage. If you're hitting those shots, it is hard to beat, and they will now go up yet again. This is looking good for Rugi and Co.
The Hydra pick is interesting to me. We haven't seen Hydra come out a lot. We saw it obviously from Cinder.
KO loves it.
Yeah, and KO obviously, you know what? It was an interesting history of KO. He came from console. Originally he was a console player, so maybe that's just a console thing. Console players love the Hydra, and as he transitions, he's like, yeah, this is my gun.
Well, they
still.
know each other, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if one of them was just like, yo, the Hydra is where it's at, do that. And then they were like, all right, sure, and they jump on it. But yeah, KO's been using the Hydra for a while. Some people question it. Nobody else has really jumped onto it as much, but I mean, you can't question it when he's performing, right? When he's getting these kills, when he's setting his team up for victories, dealing that damage, you have to be like, okay, you keep using that Hydra. I support that play. We need something different. Moving into this round, we need something different out of Right Turtle. Like, this is typically an attack-sided map, but they're down 3-1 to the first pick yet again is on Drew. Drew is not staying alive in these rounds, and KO is putting that Hydra that we just talked about to use again and again.
Yeah, now he's in a really good position to try and fight this. He's not even moving for a 2v1 right here until his teammates get in position to spot. He's just going to get out. He has this full kill secure, and now he's going to play a patient game. This is actually a very reminiscent of Blackhand in terms of getting an initial pick and playing a 3v2. I've seen that a lot coming out right now from Rome's Bandits. Maybe they're adopting a style that beat them yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
sometimes
see,
you must learn from your defeats.
Learn from your defeats, indeed, Heartbreaker. As they seem just to be trying to play this, but this is going to be a bad position for Prosper. Running a DMR into a fully automatic Hizzy is not what you want to do. I feel like every time he shoots his gun Hizzy, he just gets amped. Every single bullet that flies out of it is like, yes, I'm going to get the kill.
I mean, when you're Hizzy, oftentimes you do get that kill, so I mean, why not? You know, if you're going to feel that comfortable with it, it's just going to make it all that much better, and he is a player that rarely misses those shots. You put a good SMG in his hands, and he's going to make you pay for it, and as we see right there, Prosper trying to get aggressive, trying to come through there with the DMR. I mean, to be fair, if you have a Deadeye and you hit all the body shots, you got it. If you don't, it's not going to happen. But right now, let's hear what they're thinking over on Rome's Bandits with this listening.
I'm going to keep EMPing. I'll call out if I see Drew.
Drew's here?
Yep, I see EMS is in here too. EMS is all three. I'm going mid door.
I don't know if anybody pushed up.
Not 65.
I'm getting shot through smoke.
Two red, and then
Still off.
here, on here.
KO, go to their side. I'm gonna watch mid door.
I don't know what Glimpse is though.
I know, you just gotta go all the way around.
There's two reds still, I think. Talon's just hard at me. Yeah, they're running at me. Not running at me, but on site right now.
Alright.
I think he's gonna be planning in a few. He's planning right now.
Bomb's active. Find it and defuse it.
One's in front of me.
That's one.
There's one right in front of me.
Okay, one there, one mid door with me.
One is behind this barrier. You see that great barrier?
One SP on the left.
Like, bro. Come on, bro. Like, how did he just shoot me in the back like that?
Oh, I should have went red. That's cool.
Bro,
You gotta tag though. Look, that was a crazy defense.
So that was an interesting one. It seemed like at the start, I feel like they were lacking comms. It was just Rugi talking. Nobody was saying a whole lot. And with those players in particular, maybe they're just zoned in. Maybe that's how their team works. Yep. But for most listeners, I feel like we've gotten a little bit more in terms of like where are you going, where are you at. I mean, even then, like the bomb's going down, he didn't know where the plant was, and he nades the far side, and nobody's there. They're actually planning over in that cubby. So that was an interesting one. It seemed like at the end of the round, a little bit of aggravation coming out, but I'm sure they'll be able to focus. They still have the lead, right? They're up 4-2, right?
Yeah, they're up 4-2 right now, so they're probably feeling pretty good. I will say they seemed, especially the last round, a little bit disjointed in terms of what was going on. They ended up giving calls like, hey, one person here, one person here, one person here, and then nothing came of it. The sort of difference in comms that we heard when we heard Blackhand versus RCCS was both teams were talking very heavily about, okay, here's information and this is what we're going to do with that information. Whereas I didn't quite see that coming out of Rome's Bandits.
They were passing the information, but nobody was then saying, here's the plan with that information. Yeah, so there was a standstill, he gets flanked, and that kind of makes it fall apart.
Exactly. Looking at team comms, oh, okay, I like this a lot coming out from Rome's Bandits. The double intel comp of a Seeker and a Dallas. Very interesting. I think the Dallas is there designed to counter the Glimpse. They know Drew is kind of walking around. It's actually going to be MS now on the Glimpse, which I think is...
kind of makes sense. Drew's having a rougher time with it.
Yeah, and we know MS is a little bit terrifying is the word I would personally use when it comes to being on here, so I like that. Now, will he fall into the trap of running to the Dallas? We will see. Obviously, there is a Ronin there as well for the side of Right Turtle that will counter the double reveal. And if Dade links to that Ronin as these rounds progress, there's 2 people who can't be revealed. So they're going to have to balance on this. But that was actually a triple zip play coming up from those Bandits.
We can talk about that. We can talk about the fact that they linked the Glimpse this time, which I'm trying to think what's the benefit of. There had to be a set play that they were going for, and right away, we're already seeing a res come in there because, well, Drew hit a fantastic nade, able to take down Rugi, but all players are back up, but we have to acknowledge that link has been used. So if anything else happens right now, you're not going to be able to get that link, you're not going to be able to get that res, it's going to have to be a hand res, and that, of course, can drastically change it when they still have their res available with that link. Both of these, I mean, the nade bounce, of course, is what you're getting from the Seeker passive, and on the flip side with Glimpse, I mean...
You get the radar ping, you get a bit of intel coming forward here, especially into double intel, it's not a bad idea, but I do kind of expect that Ronin switch to eventually come in, maybe just for the pistol rounds. They'd expect MS to maybe try something a little bit more aggressive, and they want to keep them alive. But a lot of the reason I feel people don't link to Glimpse as well, to mention, is Glimpse's flank
goes off on her own.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
She's wandering around the map, she's getting pinged, she's getting intel, she's using the padded steps. And you don't want to link to someone who's too far away to actually get the benefit.
That's the same logic I follow. You know, if the 2 players playing together, normally Dali and whoever is still there, the Glimpse is off on her own. If she dies on the far side of the map, that is a wasted link. So it looks like with 30 seconds left, we're going to need to see that they're starting to hit a site. I mean, Bandits need to get in there and try to get a plant down, and it looks like it's going to be A. The bomb is still outside here on the Seeker. They're trying to nade the box. See who's there. That nade is going to be well worth it because Drew falls, and that is not the player who is linked. So they can't get back, and even if they try to, KO's pushed up, and it's going to be the Glimpse stuck in the corner, but he's not going to be able to escape. EMS will fall. Hizzy takes him down all on to Prosper here, and who needs a bomb plant?
Wow, no, that was very well executed. I thought it was going to be really bad for Roman's Bandits. They had only a few seconds left on the clock to get a bomb down and make a play happen, but they did end up getting it down. I liked Emerson's position there, actually. He stopped them going to the B. That's why I was trying to say that. They couldn't. They had to go A. They had to go A. And here, look at the replay. Look at that. They're trying to find him. They get the glimpse. He tries to run away. They see the shimmer, and that's the bullet being executed, and that's another execution there from Hizzy. Just bucking with that executioner. He's bought fast res now, most likely to keep his teammates alive. They are 5-2 up on lockdown. You have to ask, are Right Turtle just not very good at lockdown? Is this just the map they don't like to play? We'll have to see, because they went down on their own attack. This is an attack-favored map. They're now on defense.
They don't win that round either.
No, this is not looking too good for Right Turtle, like arguably one of our other favorites.
Yeah.
This is, in my head, I'm just seeing the mirror here of Aerial Rise versus Blackhand, who went down on their first map.
And then bring it back, yes.
So I'm a million things are flying through my head right now.
My brain is in the same place. It's definitely the same place where I'm thinking, this is not what I expected, but we just saw something very similar. We thought, wait, this isn't what we expected, and ended up playing out to the point of what we expected. But even then, the matches were so wild and different that it was just that no matter, even if it turned out the way that we thought it would, the path to get there was very, very different. And this could be the same, or Rome's Bandits could pull off this upset.
I mean, maybe, hey, listen, we're all up for upsets here. They are interesting, they are fun to cast. And that was actually really good cover there. He threw the grenade, he was potentially thinking of pushing on it if it did some damage, but the insets came down.
Those
Hizzy, the double dink. Wow. I just love that. I love hearing that with Drew sitting nicely in there, isn't going to get revealed by anything, and gets the nice pick off. Oh, he's got the knife out. Can he throw it? Doesn't throw in time. And he will now get full killed there.
And then Nate doesn't finish it. It was so close. The damage has already been done, but it doesn't matter. Prosper jumping in, knows he's low, and he's going to clean it up. 7 HP, and he manages to survive and get them a much, much, much needed round. And Right Turtle was down to the point where it was like, if they don't pick up a round soon, this is going to get ugly. So that was a very important round.
Absolutely. And parodying what we saw yesterday from this team, I cast them a few times, and I was very interested in how they play. I always saw Prosper as the father figure of the team, keeping them alive, looking over them. I haven't seen the same thing happen here. It happened that round, though. That may be the switch. Maybe they're just not comfortable yet in this situation. Maybe, again, it's just a lockdown issue where the lanes are so weird, it's hard to get angles to cover fire each other, and that seems to be the benefit. Drew, MS, running forward, getting the kills, being aggressive. Prosper looking over them at all times. It's just not so much available on lockdown unless you be aggressive, and they haven't chosen a comp to be aggressive.
Yes, and so that whole thing about the father figure in the middle, that makes perfect sense for this roster because just of how EMS and Drew play, you have to have somebody who has a different style. They can kind of support that aggression, and he is able to do that. Prosper does that for Right Turtle. That bomb does go down. Now it's just a matter of, can they get back in there? Can they make this happen on the side of... Oh, hold on. There's a lot of action happening here. Players going down in every which way, and it's going to be all on to EMS to try to clutch this one up. 1 versus 2, potentially 1 versus 3 if they're able to get towards that Dallas, and they do. He does get back up. The reveal is there onto EMS. This is a tough one. Last man standing has to be able to try to get over there, not only take out players, but also defuse the bomb, and it's not looking likely. When you're in this type of situation, especially they haven't pushed off away from the site, so if you go try to sneak defuse the bomb, it's pinned in a corner. They're going to know where you're at, and they're going to find you, and he's decided, you know what, better just keep my life, huh?
Yeah, keep the life. Don't give them the economy from getting the kill onto him, and maybe we get a kill himself by moving this far back, bait them into a position that they're not going to be comfortable forward. We see it, Dallas is actually now pushing up towards him. Will he jump up? Will he fall into the trap of EMS? We'll find out in a moment, and no, it won't, but they're happy. Rome's Bandits will take that nice and happily. They got a good round off there. Now they've really sort of secured their lead as they go into match point here on Lockdown. Right Turtle, our favorites, arguably, not looking too hot.
No, they are not at all on Lockdown. I mean, this is just... I mean, they're hitting shots. They're playing so well, Rome's Bandits, and we're just honestly, like, it's them playing well, but Right Turtle looks a little shaky. Like, were they in the rooms warming up too long? Did they you know, maybe burn out a little bit because they're not playing to the level we would expect? I mean, honestly, coming into this, as much as I like to see a great game, I expected it would be a 2-0, and at this point, if it's a 2-0, it's in the wrong direction.
I mean,
from what I thought. So.
Yeah, so we're on match point right now here on Lockdown. Rome's Bandits 1 round away from taking the W, and I just feel like the team play isn't quite what we're used to from Right Turtle, whereas Rome's Bandits have incredible team play. They're shooting over each other, they're playing together, they make sure everyone is covered and everyone gets out. This time, KO might be in a situation, still gets out though. Has the cover from his teammates, has the stims available to him, and now they're just going to play a game. Maybe this intel comp was the best idea, despite them going into a Ronin Dahlia. What does that intel always mean they get though? They always get the glimpse. They always get, arguably in this game, the star player EMS. They always know where he is by using this reveal because he's the only one who can be revealed. And now with half the bomb time gone, all players still alive, it's going to be a ditch effort for Right Turtle to try and win this round as Hizzy gets the first pick onto Drew. Hizzy gets him down there, not letting Drew up here despite the Dahlia res. Hizzy secures the kill finally, and 3v2 with about 10 seconds left on the bomb. They're just going for it. EMS finds Rugi. Now they have to push so quickly. They have to make a decision. The smoke comes down, and it has to be EMS in this moment, but they will get cleaned out and the defeat will come through, and that is Rome's Bandits taking the first map against our favorites, Right Turtle.
Not expected. That is not expected. I don't think if you would have asked anybody here, except for perhaps Rome's Bandits, maybe they said, you know, they had the belief, they had the faith. However, I will admit, I did not. I am now pleasantly surprised because that means we're going to have quite the series on our hands. If they could put up that level of performance, Rathar, then I'm expecting something spectacular. But will it be Right Turtle bounces back, or will they have their confidence shaken? Will they be like, whoa, what's happening? And then falter a little bit more.
I'm going to be honest, knowing Right Turtle, I don't think they're the type of team to get their confidence shaken. I think maybe they acknowledge that Lockdown was just not their map in that moment, and they're going to go into their next map with a little bit more of a reinvigorated sense of themselves. We know EMS is confident. We know Drew is one of the most confident players in this game, especially when he's in his flow. I just don't think he's in his flow yet. But when he gets on his flow, there he is. I think he'll start popping off. We know he'll sit back up in his chair. He'll start bouncing. You know, he's got the energy, he's got the enthusiasm, and Prosper's got the experience to keep them together. Prosper is someone who doesn't tilt very easily from what I've seen, and he's going to keep that team together. I think that's what's going to be needed as they move into map 2 here. Rome's Bandits got the lead, though. Very good performance by them.
Yeah, and that's part of just the... Prosper is a veteran in the esports space. You know, having played other Hi-Rez titles professionally, a world champion in Paladins. I mean, he knows what it's like to be down in big series. He knows what it's like to be able to pull a team back up, and that's probably what he's doing right now, is working these guys through this situation, just saying, you know, hey, yeah, we're down a map. Yeah, we thought this would be easy. It's not, but we can definitely get through here again, and now we get to see some of the plays of how exactly Rome's Bandits managed to do what they did, and to be fair, it was a lot of hizzy hit and executioners.
Absolutely. He was was hitting his execution shots. He obviously put his economy into the perk set and was getting things. But I really like this play from Drew. This play from Drew was actually one of my favorites. He sat there with the Ronin, immune to the double reveals that were available, and got the picks he needed. And that's what I really like. Again, here's he there with the DMRs. In fact, it was a whole lot of DMRs between Seeker, between Dahlia, between Dallas, and then obviously you have the other team as well with the Dahlia. That's a lot of DMRs being thrown around the map and a lot of high precision weapons that were coming down. And potentially that was part of the reason that they struggled so much, because EMS and Drew like to be on these SMGs. They like to be moving forward
the bread and butter
aggressive.
for those guys.
Exactly. And there's our MVP, our Seeker right there. Mr. Rugi, our MNK player, putting down good work and high damage.
2,500 damage coming out of Rugi. And he was one again. Question marks were coming in. And then yesterday was looking a little shaky. But I think, you know, as an MNK player, I know that when you show up to something like this, controller players for the most part, they're going to plug their controller in. They're going to mess with their settings. They're going to get to it. You go bring your mouse and keyboard to a LAN. It's how high is the table? What's my chair look like? How is it sitting? So on and so forth. There's a lot of things you need to adjust. He got that adjustment, and now he's looking very good. And now we get to go to Icarus. Ooh, that's going to be exciting. What are we thinking here?
It's a very different map. Lockdown, big map. Split
very
across
long lanes.
Rotations. What's Icarus? Short map, utility dump. It's not about those precision weapons. This is the kind of place where EMS and Drew's close range gunplays,
coming out.
they're going to come in. They're going to be detrimental to the more, I think, DMR play style of Roman's Bandits. However, you can't knock out Hizzy. Not only did he have a dominant performance in that game as well, getting some great shots off, he is also one of those players who likes to be in the action, likes to be up close and personal, and just gets hype off those moments. And so, Icarus, bans. What are we expecting to see? Heartbreak, I'm going to throw it to you. What's your first in your mind? What are you thinking?
That's so tough. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know that if they really run Secret all that much, but like that's one because they kind of bust on the site. Everybody runs Scorch. So if you don't see a Scorch being banned, then like that makes it tough for everybody because you can still have a buy in there to throw the Molotov Lancer. I mean, it's somebody that you almost never have to mention because she's not making it into the game. And they go ahead, and the second one is going to be a fixer. So what did we say? Scorch is going to come out. Prosper launching on Dahlia. Oh, Lord, who would have seen that one coming? It's the bread and butter. It's what he does. But the Ronin for Drew, that's, you know, you expect a Ronin if it's not banned for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's take a look at these settings, Rad.
Yeah, the settings good. I was running an Ultra, high graphics, good computers coming in here from the Hi-Rez Studios. But I actually like Drew on Ronin. I think he defaults to Ronin when he's not feeling the glimpse or the fixer, when the fixer's not available for him. I think he does default there onto that Ronin because Ronin can, I've always said this about Ronin, jack of all trades, can do literally anything. You want to be aggressive, fine. You want to be defensive, fine. Smoke grenade, knife can be thrown any which way direction, but the difference here coming up from the enemy team is KO on that Chark, the spearhead of a fight. This is a more traditional compulse coming out from Rome's Bandits, but Right Turtle played their game very well. So we'll see how this matches up as we load up into Icarus. I'm excited. We've seen some good Icarus games so far today. I'm expecting another one right here. As remember, Rome's Bandits, one map up. Right Turtle need this map if we're taking it to Game 3, and they don't want to drop down to losers bracket.
No. I mean, no matter which way you go, it's going to be a tough road. But who wants to add some more matches to it when you can just go straight as close to the grand final as you can? So as we go down here onto Icarus, following Rugi down through the air for Rome's Bandits, and they're feeling very confident after a 1-0 to kick this series off, taking lockdown. And they have, I mean, I look at that comp and I look at the other comp, and I have to say I favor this one. I really do, because they can survive that Ronin dagger too. You know, do it in a spot where they have to run through it. Okay, Charcoal, I'm coming. I'm going through. It's not a problem. It's good. And then, of course, being able to defend against the Scorch, you throw that Molotov, they still have one of those, you know, and right away the bomb goes down. They throw the flash. They have to run so far. The Molotov comes out, but okay, again, Charcoal. I can survive that. I can get through that, and now we're down to the 3v3 retake, and they're hitting these shots on a quick cross. We're already down to 50.
You know what was interesting there for me is how quickly MS ran away. He got the flash. Oh, MS actually, he's run back straight into the fight and finds KO there on the Chark. We'll see if that revive comes down. Yeah, I mean, these guys are slaying. That's Prosper finding Ruki with a double peek over the side. And as he goes to the revive, he's not going to be able to get that down.
That's what we expect when it comes to that aggression. Those retakes, just getting back in there and being like, okay, yeah, you got the plan. We're not even giving you time to set up post plan. And they didn't. It was like as soon as that plan went down, they applied pressure. They kind of, maybe for a split second, left and right because some utility and some shots were going off, and they said, take long. Once they got that pick, they knew they had the advantage, Rad. They said, follow up. Just follow up.
And I noticed so quickly there, when the flashbang came out, EMS ran. And like he didn't just run like, okay, I'm moving back a little bit. He ran away really far back.
Expecting a rush, perhaps.
Expecting a rush, or just acknowledging that, you know what, even if they don't rush, I don't want to be close to a grenade or an easy position, because what are we doing? We're going for retake. And maybe that's the strategy that Right Turtle are going to adopt here. One very common for Icarus defenders is a retake strategy. It's so hard to get people off the bomb, especially when you're into a Dahlia Scorch. Like, she is tanky. Chuck is tanky. That's just tankiness. You can throw your incense. It may not work. If Scorch is there, you can throw your grenades. May not work. They all have tenacity. You know what's worse about that comp? What do they all have? Got a bounce back. So even if you do damage them, they're getting their health back really soon later on in these rounds. It's possible to find some good peek there. Good Ronin knife on the side,
That's
especially
what they were
early
going for that
down.
B-rush. I saw that dagger, and I was like, you're questioning it now. You know that if you want to do that, again, you have to basically use that chalk ult to try to eat some of that damage, or you have to eventually have the high tenacity or something like that on the Scorch to send her through. And so it just, again, that look like they were rushing it. They ran all the way up. You heard the ding, the dagger's there. And they said, well, hold on a sec. Maybe that's not the best idea.
Not going to do it just yet. That seems a little bit dangerous. They could also opt for an EMP later on from the Scorch. That could be thrown there to get detonate that. That may be something they're going to use instead of running there with a charcoal. There's a lot of HP you don't want to lose regardless.
KO's already gotten down here towards bottom mid. He's looking towards
site,
but he was heard. I know because there was a ping that went off here from EMS letting them know he's in middle. And if EMS tries to take that fight, he's going to get shot from the player there at jump up. So well done by EMS to fall back and just be like, hey, I'm going to need some support. Somebody else needs to come here and help me. I know a player's already dropped down and taken that middle control. I can't take that risk. And now that he's distracted, EMS says, hold on, I can actually get here and do this. And just as that res might be coming back, that self-res, he is able to take him out with that Molotov. Well used, and Drew with the dagger kill, and they clean that one up. 2-0 for Right Turtle, and this is what they need to be able to do after that loss on lockdown.
This is the methodical play I expect to see out of them, exactly being patient with your life. EMS knows he can beat people. He knows he can run out there and probably take KO on if he wants to, but he's very aware that he doesn't know the positions of the people.
He doesn't always have to.
And exactly, doesn't have to. But what he can do is be like, hey, Prosper, hey, you meant to be here to look over me. Can you come? Like, I want to go do something. I want to go get a kill. Can you just come and like have a little look? And what does he do? Comes to get a look. They get the pick on KO. Nice, easy round secure. Quick follow-up by Drew because they played together.
Yes.
A team that played together. Now they have a map maybe they're more familiar, maybe they're more comfortable on. You can see how the team play comes in and why Right Turtle is a team to be feared.
Yes, I mean, in these situations, that is the one thing you can 100% say about them, and it's similar to Black Canvas, some of these other top teams, is that they do not give you those 1v1s. They will wait patiently to get a teammate to help them, to get that slight advantage to be able to take those fights. We saw a peak example of that in that round, and with that early dagger, they throw that, they see that nobody's coming in that direction. That allows for these rotations over. That flashbang comes out this time, and it's actually going to be eaten. They're just going to full flash, and the players here pushing along will be able to deal some damage, and they need to be able to stay alive on defense. At this point, they've given up the close long control. The cut has been taken, and it looked like they were actually falling back. So I'm not sure what's happening here in this round. They were poking and prodding, and they've already now gone back here towards mid. Drew can make the comms. They see somebody. The player on Plaque could have done something there, and he's going to deal good damage. And if this guy continues to push whoever is going towards B, but the cover right there, as you mentioned, but it's Hizzy from behind. Needs to come up big. EMS needs to get him and get out, but it's going to be Drew who comes through middle and is able to help clean that one up, leaving the Scorch all on their lows, and it's going to be Rugi. And want to be able to ensure that they cannot get that res. Rugi stuck behind the fountain. 1 versus 1. Scorch versus Scorch here in this round. Molotov's still out. Not going to do anything. Not going to matter. Utility is nothing in this round. They're able to take down that dagger. No problem. They still have ults on both sides. Flame versus Flame. Again, that damage not really going to matter. The Molotov damage, you have nothing left but the pure gun skill. That bomb has been dropped. And he's not fully covering it at this point. Now he's walking up, doesn't know where the player's coming from. There he is, spots him right there. Thinks that he makes a great shot, but they're both pretty low. He's gonna peek out. He's trying to take that fight. Knows that damage with the time. He had to force it. Rugi had to force it. There was 4 seconds left, and it's going to go the way of Right Turtle.
EMS loves these 1v1s. He was happy to be in that position. He was just like, you know what? I've got this. I've got a DMR. I've got my SMG. Takes the 52, gets the 42. There's 1 shot left on Rugi, and just cleans it up with the SMG kill, as we would expect. Nice little payoff off here, coming in from Hizzy, who did get a really good flank, and they tried to turn it, get some good damage, will get the kill there, and that's how EMS just about manages to survive, is to go into this 1v1, get the kill. Nice clutch up for him as they move in 3-0 for Right Turtle on Icarus right here.
I did get a little nervous because I saw the time. I saw 4 seconds, and I said, yes, the enemy player, Rugi, is low. He is low. But if you just wait this 4 seconds out, you get it anyway. If you peek him and he happens to take you out, you just lost that round. Now, it doesn't go that way, but I got a little nervous right there. And it looks like, once again, they want to hit this fast. They're going to eat that, just like I said. But so much damage is done that Drew essentially only has to hit one bullet. He has support coming in from spawn, and they're just tearing them apart. Even though Emes goes down, he's got the res, and he's managed to get up top of Jump Up, and he has the wall to cover him, and that round was clean from Right Turtle.
I think that just proves that, you know what, maybe you don't want to run through that knife right there, because even though you bang your chest on Char, you get 175 HP. That's a lot of HP. That's not to deal with. I don't want to deal with that.
No.
But a Ronin knife there, as you saw, did 114 damage. That does not leave you with a lot of health. You're 61 HP, and you're running into SMGs. Thank you. Math tutor in previous life. You know, you're going to get gunned down really quickly there by an SMG, or even a 2-shot from a DMR. It's 2 body shots on a DMR. You know, when you've got Prosper and Drew sitting over you, SMG and DMR, you're down so quickly, and we saw that coming out.
And now they're going to question it each time, Red. Like, every now they're going to be like, all right, so we knew in our heads, if we just eat the dagger, we'll be able to push through. Well, that's not going to work. You eat the dagger, you're too low, the 2 players take you out, and now you're immediately in. But here, what do they do this time? Maybe they just go B from a different angle. Maybe we go through middle instead, or we just wrap towards A, but they got to run through the Molotov, and that is going to bring the Chalk's HP back down again. That HP has done nothing for him thus far. Every time he uses it, a utility takes it all the way. That's a big nade to push him back out into the open, but they're still going to get this res off, trying to get the double res. Not going to happen, but it's going to be Rugi comes up from the side with the potential there. He's able to take down 1, but his HP is low. The pistol comes out, and it is going to be Hizzy to clutch that one up 4-1.
I mean, clutch is an understatement of how well Hizzy played that round. As his teammate went down, as Rugi went down on the Scorch, you see Hizzy jump across the line of sight of his enemies, mid-air, activate the res. Rugi's getting up over there on the right-hand side as he manuals that. And I believe we're going into now a listen-in for Right Turtle, see exactly how their comms are going as they are up 4-1 on these rounds.
I knew they were going to do that. And they might do it again, bro. They might just do the same thing.
I have shield, so I can hold the lane if they were pushing, like make them really low. Just try to be fast.
Middle, Scorch middle, probably same play maybe. Or they're going to go somewhere else. They might go to B cut, I guess.
They didn't push yet. There, it's Scorch there.
One more of you, Drew. Check that alley, check alley.
Oh, middle, Dahlia, I'm 1.
Pushing down.
Dahlia, that's Dahlia.
23.
We have to push.
Check there, in cut. Last one in cut, going mid. Going to res,
going to res. There's Dahlia.
He's on box. Yeah, shield.
He's off the res,
Yeah, no more shield.
You're my link, remember that. Do you want to run him?
He's 1. Yes, bounce back.
Oh my god, I'm choking so hard.
Good shit.
Again, we keep getting these comms and people are so quiet to start, and then it just kicks up. But when they kicked up, the comms went hot. They started going very quickly, really just communicating every little detail. They might do this, they might do that. This is what they're doing. This is the Scorch specifically jumping up in this position. This is where they're at. And look, do you want to push together? Do you not want to push together? Those are good comms.
Yeah, absolutely. And what the difference, I think, when we listened to Rome's Bandits was we heard a lot of information being sent out by Rome's Bandits. They didn't capitalize anything. They didn't make a play off of it. I wouldn't say Right Turtle necessarily made a play off the comms they were giving, but that's why I feel like they're more in sync. They saved the information, and the teammates already knew. When Emes said, you know, I know someone's here, or they might push me, Prosper was already rotating. Unfortunately, that did leave Drew open. I will say that actually, what I'm noticing here is that is kind of it's
like a separate duo.
Yeah, the benefit that Rome's Bandits are having here is that they are taking away Prosper's ability to look over both of them. They're saying, hey, we're going to push 1, and while you're distracted on a 1v1, which essentially our other 2 are going to try and push your guys left alone. And that, I think, is what has happened a few times here and what's been so beneficial. But look at what's on the board. KO has picked up the glitch. That is going to be spicy. What do you think of the glitch?
I am not sure about that because, Glitch has gone through an iteration recently. While it will take everything out across the map, there are ways to counter that. You can hold a nade out when it's happening, still get to use it. And it just as an end, it ends so much quicker now because, and I understand why. If you're going to hit a larger area, lessen the time. The problem is that you have to time it so perfectly. It has to be right at the last second to make it worth it, or else you crack it. Everybody can't use anything, but by the time the play is underway, they get their utility back and they can use it again. I'm not, but the perk kit though. The perk kit is fantastic.
Definitely.
Glitch has all the best perks. but is that enough? Do you pick him just for that? Probably not. And here comes that glitch coming in. What is it going to do? I'm not sure, because there it is. The Simtex has already come out, already taken out a player, and they already have the man advantage in favor of right turtle. The Molotov comes out. The utility, again, he's already throwing that. It just doesn't last long enough, and KO, I think, is going to look back at this and be like, why did I pick glitch?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same right now. I mean, the only justification I kind of see in it in this moment is glitch can be really good into a Darty or Chark if you hack seconds and milliseconds before you push, because it stops the instant revive. It gives you a few seconds on delay because they can't use their abilities. He can't self-revive, she can't revive him. It just gives you that few little seconds to maybe make a play and get the full kill. That's the only way to see it. But that timing is so perfect, because also what happens is by doing that hack and sending your other two teammates forward to get the kill, you're putting them in a 2v3 situation because you're there on your device hacking, trying to get their abilities off. Now we're 6-1 up for right turtle on Icarus. Seems like a dominant performance. Seems like they've reclaimed the momentum they needed after that bad lockdown game.
Oh yeah, any sort of confidence that was gained from winning that lockdown has probably been shaken off when it comes to Rome's Bandits, because they haven't gotten a foothold on this at all, and it looks like EMS and Co just want to get right back into the Demo, all thrown away right away, and you know that when stuff like that is happening, they're slowing it down so quickly, or they're just using things right away, they're a little nervous. They're not saving, they're not thinking like, oh, you know, let's save this for a play later on. They're just throwing you to that. We saw a nade. We saw a Demo already thrown away. The glitch hack hasn't come in yet, but again, that's just not as viable in the situation. And I think it was a risk choice. If we went up 1-0, we're down bad, maybe we catch him off, maybe we utilize it in a good way. They don't expect it. But at this point, Rugi's stuck behind that. He has some coverage over him, but I believe it's an SMG back there. He falls. They try to get the res, not going to happen. And now 2 versus 2, but they may be able to pick this chalk back up, no problem.
Absolutely. You just be able to go get the manual here. If they get Hizzy down, they do get Hizzy down, and that'll be, as I said, probably the manual coming in for the chalk. If they even decide to go for it, they may just fight the 2v1. We'll find out in a few minutes.
This is looking like a map 3.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a map 3
But KO's still in it. And KO's done this with a 97 damage nade. Oh, it just got a lot less likely. And they're actually going to run back, and he's probably calling to his teammate, come back, watch the res, cover me. But it's too little, too late. KO's already there, but it is going to be Prosper, who remains calm, shoots over just like we talked about Radthar. He is just so good at looking over his teammates, making sure he's providing that cover. And he says, you know what? You don't win the gunfight. Don't worry. I got your back.
Exactly, and that is Prosper. That's the Prosper we know. He always has his teammates back, always there with the DMR or Executioner, shooting over and giving that covering fire where it counts. I think that was the right turtle that we expect to see. That is the kind of performance that we expect to see.
Absolutely.
And as I said, it was a very, very good performance for them on Icarus.
Yeah, and so we came out of the first map and we thought, are they a little shaky? What's going on? Is it just a weak map?
Yeah.
Has Rome Bandits just found their footing?
Maybe.
Like, they just were more comfortable now? I got to mess with a keyboard and mouse, like I'm feeling good. And then we come into this one and it's like, no, they looked a little lost. They definitely looked like they could not keep up with what was happening from the opposite side of right turtle. But it does take us to a map 3.
It does take. We love a map 3 here.
We love a map 3.
We love
here,
map
it's
3.
all we do here in Atlanta. We love map 3s, but that means it's competitive, right, Rad?
Exactly.
That's a good thing. That means when we say we have the best teams in the world here in studio in Atlanta, it's a true statement.
I mean, absolutely. And maybe what we're seeing here is Lockdown wasn't Right Turtle's map. Maybe Rome Bandits map wasn't Icarus. So as we move into a map 3, maybe we get a map that's a little bit more even, maybe a little more of an even game, and that'll be really interesting to me. I'm excited to see how that one turns out.
Oh, and I can't wait for it to come up. But before that, we're going to be looking at some of the plays from the last map, because we definitely need to see Icarus in the plays that got us to such a dominant 7-1 performance. And I believe that's all we're really going to be seeing, because it was very one-sided. It's going to be mostly right turtle here.
Absolutely. As they just said, they're playing really well together. This play particularly played really well together. The comms we were listening on that round were so tight together. I like this one coming in there. Just a little fire.
Just how quick they are at it, though.
Exactly.
Just to know, like, bam, fire, just immediately.
Exactly. They know when you get yourself low, they're going to throw the fire, and that is going to be you knocked out of the round for sure. And I said, look at the angles. They're using a lot of DMRs here for Prosper, but even that LMPX is being used very similarly at range. Of course, it is a full MVP team for Right Turtle in the slot 1, 2, and 3 there, all in that final board. None of Rome's Bandits made enough of a dent there to make to the board.
EMS at the top to 23-30 in the damage, and on the opposite side, only one player managed to get 4 digits, and it was Rugi. It was the mouse and keyboard player. Shout out to mouse and keyboard player Rugi. Love to see that. You know, sometimes M&K is on top. It's not often. Doesn't happen often at all. I can definitely confirm that. But when it does, you just have to really make note of it. He was the one player that didn't drop an area code.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's just good damage across the board there from Right Turtle. You saw it's basically double their opponents. And in, I said, only 9 rounds. That's a lot of good damage to come around, coming from for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, with a 1-0 there for Lockdown, and then we bounce back. That means we're going to a map 3, but not before we take a short break. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. We are here for a map 3, another map 3. It's what I do. I do map 3s here.
You are in charge of map 3s.
This right now, so far, has been a very interesting series because we thought it could be a 2-0, and then immediately Rome's Bandits, they come out and they win the first map. It was a pretty solid win as well. It's not like it came down to the very last round or anything like that. Then we flip, and it is a blowout in the opposite direction. So Raptor going into map number 3, which is Hollows. How are we feeling?
I said to you as we just got off air for the smaller break, I want to see a map that was good. I said maybe Windward, but Hollows fits that perfectly for me. This is the kind of map where covering fire matters so much, where gunplay matters so much, where close range can be played, long range can be played, post plant can be played, don't even play for the plant can be played. There's so much variety to this map. This is the kind of map that I think these two teams are going to battle out really well. I think it could be a close one. That's kind of my prediction, that we get close, at least within 4 or 5 rounds for the losing team. So 7-4, 7-5, either way. We'll find out what it's going to be as we get into the bans for this map specifically.
Yeah, and so you threw it to me last time. You said, hey, who do you think the bans are coming in? Well, Rad would give me a go.
I'm going to go Lancer and Fixer, because they banned Lancer and Fixer on both sides. So.
Just sticking with the same ones, huh? Well, there's a Ronin, so 1-0. Will they get it? It looks like a Fixer may.
They're hovering it. They're hovering it. They don't really want to play into the Fixer. They don't really like Rugi's Fixer. It makes sense.
That makes sense, especially because he's actually been hitting shots.
You know what's kind of scary? They've left Lancer open for Emes. Emes, kind of a dominating force. Will we see him lock it in? Or are they thinking, this is Hollows. We're not that afraid of a Lancer. She can only really come from 1 or 2 directions, and we can watch those locations if we want. But we can see. You see,
I'm
MS
locked in on it.
is the one taking his time. Oh,
Scorch.
Oh. This is the high suspense moment.
Nobody's locked in yet.
No,
they're still 100%. They're discussing every aspect. Well, if I'm this and you're that, how do we work that? And so nobody's locked in. They have 15 seconds though. So now they're looking up and they're going, "Hey man, what are we doing? What are we doing?" And I'm sure it's probably a lot of Prosper. Kind of saying like, "All right, I like that. I don't like that." But here we go. The locks are coming in, and the other 2 we weren't sure about. We knew Prosper wasn't changing. The Dahlia was staying. That's 100%. We see. Hizzy on the Dahlia, which is, that's okay. Now that SMG and stuff like that. Rugi, again, being more of the range player, is going to be going for the AR, can play a little bit further back. And, this map in particular, Seeker, very solid on that defense, especially you go over on the right bomb side if you're looking at it from the defense point of view, and you hit that arrow, and it is not a problem at all to be able to get all that information. And even if they decide that they don't, once they get caught by that arrow, they sit back. Well, you bought time to get in further positions, right? So it's one of those ones where you can start to aggress on the bomb site, and then if the arrow reveals nobody, then you can take more ground because they're too far back to stop you, and then you can catch them off if they do decide to drop down a little bit late and come through. But one thing I wanted to touch on real quick is you said you want this map for all these different reasons. The main one for me, because we know that when it comes to just sort of like SMG battles, you got to go with right turtle, right? The close quarters is that.
Absolutely.
The long range we saw went the way of Rome's Bandits. This one, you get a little bit of everything.
Yes, exactly. It's going to come down a lot, and I actually feel like that's going to favor right turtle more so because they said they're probably better up in that close range, and Prosper can play the long range, and this map gives him options and space to look around. They've actually taken mid control really quickly here, and he's just lining up that bounce lane, figuring out where he wants it, throws it. Will he get the kill? Will not. They were able to avoid that one. Now they're dipping back out of there. They've opened the door on that side to transition towards the A-Slam map, and they're going to make that transition now. Will Rightail be able to get there in time? They'll jump up there. It'll be Rugi finding the first kill on to Emes, but they'll be traded out nicely by Drew.
Yeah, but they're able to get that revive onto the Seeker. The other one's still up, but 2 players half on as Prosper Logic goes down as well. It's going to be all onto the lone glimpse. That's going to be Drew trying to clutch this one up. Does decent damage. They don't really push. They didn't really push it at all, but there's another player back out. They did manage to get that res, so the Dahlia is back in the mix as well. And I don't think they've used that res. So if it's the Glimpse who goes down first, you might expect that aggression to be how that plays out. They may decide to do that.
Yeah, but it does seem like our Scorch has an incendiary grenade available to her, which is going to be big as that goes down right there. Now we've got KO in a bad position. And actually, with him invisible and low HP, they could just play for the Dahlia really, really quickly. Are they going to do it, or are they going to sit back? The invis re-pops out, and now it's just a straight 2v2. They're falling back. That'll be Drew taking down the first trade, actually, as MS finds Hizzy. Hizzy finds Drew, and it's a 1v1 straight, and it will be Emes clutching that up. That's what you expect from Emes. He stands. He's there
out of the chair.
I am the 1v1 king here, coming in from Right Turtle.
The thing about them, though, when it comes to Right Turtle, is almost all of them are the 1v1. I mean, they're more of like the 1v1 court, if you will. You know, like they any of them can step up. And Prosper may not do it as often because, again, it's not necessarily his role. But we've seen him do it.
Absolutely.
Again, he stays ice cold all the time. He's always just ready to do whatever his team needs him to do. And that is the glue of that team. We say it all the time. He really holds them together. But yeah, taking EMS on in a 1v1, he's going to come at you with confidence. If there's one thing everybody says about him, it is his confidence in the game. And some people might say it's overconfidence. He overextends. He gets taken down. But when he actually gets the win, 90% of the time, if you will, you got to give it to him.
It's well-founded confidence, you'll say. You know, sometimes he takes it fine. He does get caught out, but that's what you expect from players at this level. They're going to be running out, they're going to try and make plays, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes, and in fact, for these guys, most of the time, it does work out really comfortably, and that is why they're one of the favorites coming into this. 1-1 in map count, 0-1 in round count in favor of Right Turtle. This is going to be an intense game. It's going to be a good game. They're playing a bit slower now that they have their weapons. And
yeah, and that Glimpse is getting those pings there in mid. He's calling it. They're definitely on that B side. I think Prosper heard somebody on short as well because he had given a ping. There's that ping. He said, hey, I know somebody's over there because he's getting the pings too.
Yes,
he's linked with the Glimpse. He's getting it. So they're just able to figure out, yeah, they're right there. We know they're on the other side of that wall. We're just waiting for the right time when they decide to push in, which allows them to do exactly what they've done, and that is stack everybody for Right Turtle over here on this site. And they have realized that. They're trying to rotate Mikhail. He got a little too happy there, stepping up towards that site, walking straight in to Drew and Prosper, but it's going to be the cut up through middle, and are they going to be able to get this rest? Yes. Again, Prosper with that link will get Drew back up and look over him. It's what he does.
Exactly. And I really like that. I think that was good covering fire. Good play by Rugi and Hizzy to capitalize on potentially getting Drew on a rotate, because KO got caught out of position and they had to capitalize off something. Hizzy now trying to does find him, but that will be covered by Prosper, as we always expect. 1v1 right there. Now it's going to be Prosper in a straight 1v1 versus Rugi. I know DMR v DMR, mouse and keyboard versus controller here. This is going to be intense as the bomb is down. What's going to happen? It's going to be Prosper as Rugi just runs, jumps, thinks he's got the advantage there. I think picked up an automatic weapon in that moment and thought he'd be able to spray him down. Didn't quite get it. Prosper hitting the 3 shots he needed to the body, and that will be the round win, the defuse, and that will be Right Turtle going up 2-0.
I'm trying to think about that jump. Really, I'm trying to think about it, and all I can think is he's in his head. He's going, "I'm MNK. I'm going to be able to adjust to this better." If somebody jumps around a corner on MNK, you can easily just be, "Hey, what's going on?" Like I'm with you. You know, you might have a slower stick movement or something like that, a controller. But that didn't happen. He flew through the air, and Prosper's like, "What in the world are you doing?"
Yeah.
I mean, he still had 60 HP left. He won that by a mile. So.
You know, I think it might have been there, just watching that replay. I think he actually jumped over the rest of Right Turtle, the body block. I think he jumped over it, but it's actually kind of a smart idea because he wants to swing it. You want to swing that corner. I also think he expected Prosper to be as close as Prosper was, and that may have put him off ever so slightly there. But that may have extended the jump there on this corner that we see right here.
We'll have to ask
further. Yeah, we'll ask him. You know, why not? But hey, what was that jump for? Why are we jumping? Little bow coming out. I also want to mention, we spoke about the defensive Seeker. This is actually an attacking Seeker, which I think also has good viability, but not as strong as the defensive Seeker we're so used to seeing.
You don't see it as often on the attack. Like defense, you see it and you go, yeah, that makes sense. Attack, you go, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe. You give it a go.
You want an intel rogue. Seeker's a good enough one. Get the arrow there, maybe get some damage, get some good reveals, because there are a lot of angles and sort of curved angles and
this map is curvy.
Exactly. And that's, I think, why they've also gone for the Dali link to the Glimpse as well, is because you get the pings on all these corners where people could be hiding. That's what got KO out in the last round, is just that intel from the double Glimpse passive that we have there.
Yeah, a lot of the time I think you see a Dallas or a Talon from the attack side. Because again, the reason a lot of people do Dallas on the offense is just that you can get close enough. You snap those fingers so you can pounce on whoever's close by. Seeker, you're generally a little bit further back. You let it rip. You see where they're at, but they can just make any adjustment. You're not going to catch them. But this play on short from Drew, that is beautiful to just hold that weight for the time where you can actually make a play in that stick. He rolls right back into it, able to capitalize on it, and that is a clean round. Everything about that was fantastic, and you know Drew in his head is just like, sign me to the NFL.
You see the start. He turns it to that. Hey, that's me. I did that. I was in the position. I get the stick from, I don't know, to 30, 40, 50 meters away. I'm going to get that and have a great time. They're feeling relaxed. You can just see their body language. They are relaxed in their chairs. They are feeling it. They know they're playing well. They're 3-0 up right now on this map, and they're feeling solid.
They're 10-1 in the last 11 rounds. I mean, from the last map to this one, I mean, they are cruising right now.
They are definitely putting on a good performance, and that sort of initial oomph, I'll say, we saw from Rome's Bandits seems to have diminished, and maybe they're getting in their own heads a little bit here, and are getting a little bit shaken from this Right Turtle squad.
Oh, it definitely seems like it. They need to get around. They need to do it quick because Hollows isn't a map that is generally like considered to be like heavily one-sided.
No.
You know, it can go one direction or the other, but it might be a round or two. A 4-2, maybe, but you know, a 3-3, that's not uncommon. Something like that. Now, if it's like 6-0s and 5-1s on this, that's a little bit different. Now, we did see it yesterday.
True.
So we have to talk about this. Rome's Bandits, rather, against Valors was a 5-1 in favor of Valors, and Rome's Bandits came back and won it.
Hey,
so
I mean, hey, we could be repeating history here right now, but he said it's a very unexpected thing. Hey, we're in a 1v1. We're gonna see it. I think it's EMS here in the 1v1 versus KO. Let's see how this does. Oh, he goes for the res, gets 16 damage there on the foot. He's going for the next one, clears out the body, but KO with the Hydra takes down EMS in the 1v1. You know he's feeling good on that one. EMS considered himself the aggressive 1v1 guy. KO taking him down, putting him in his place here in this moment.
Oh, yeah. When he came around that corner and I saw him kind of drift down to take out the play that was getting res, because this is the first one he saw, right? He looks down and he sees that. Well, I want to know exactly what they are thinking when he made that play and how they're feeling. So we're going to go to a right turtle listen.
Revealed by the sensor.
I got hit by a boat that ruined like everything low key. They're gonna play A again. Go land right here, man. So I don't like how you keep landing at B. They can go quick. Well, who was in there? Do you know, Drew? Who you picking?
I'm gonna go out her. It was Glimpse.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so you maybe try to go out of here. I see two middle. Two, yeah, they're going on bridge. One Seeker's on bridge. Dahlia's back middle already. Glimpse is probably not trying to get our spawn.
They going A or B?
B, no, don't B.
I'm a flank.
One long, one
flanking
bridge.
then. Flanking
I've
right
only
now.
seen Seeker though. Two. Glimpse and Seeker. Glimpse long. Seeker's planning.
I'm flanking.
I'm Nate. Fire. It doesn't take.
That knocked on sight. I'm revealed. That's the link. That's the link.
Yeah, Dahlia's there then.
Yeah, okay.
One long.
Might be bridge. On sight. And then
going long. Going long.
Yeah, KO long alone. Freak. He's going back to these. Watching. He's going back. Watch out.
Yeah.
You wanna go side MS? We need to go quick. Drew's getting fought. They might zip behind him.
Rugi one. Other.
Fight MS. Fight that shit. I got Rugi.
Both long. One coming in her. Maybe.
Run long. Run them long.
He's linked.
One long. They already
They used
died.
it. Push long here. I'm with you.
He's gonna hand res.
No, they're gonna be long. I might res.
No.
Oh, he's dead. He's in there. He's in there. Fuck.
What?
Yeah, outer. One outer.
Should maybe just try to get lucky, kill the guy bridge.
We were talking about that they needed to start coming back now if they wanted to make this one competitive. Although, again, we also pointed out that they didn't necessarily have to. They've been in this situation before, and they have started to do that. Those rounds right there. And the comms seemed good. Got a little hectic there, but they were really worried about that res, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there was a link. Maybe they didn't know if it had already been used, if they were within range, but then they were like sort of going towards the long, cutting back, and they were like, you can't get res, you can't get res. And then the play where KO had turned on Drew, that was a tough one.
Yeah, definitely. Drew had to win that 1v1 there on the flank. I think the flank was a good call. I think maybe it came a little bit late. He had good comms about where the rest of the Rome's teams were, yet was still moving pretty slow into that corner. I think he probably could have sped up, got to that corner a little bit sooner, and just taken KO out on the peak instead of the other way around. He did good to survive it and almost won it, but that 1v1 on the flank definitely was the make or break for that team right there, because Prosper and EMS were just confused about what was happening in the positions at the end there. But hey, as we're talking about this, Prosper and Drew are like, hey, we are going to fight you right now. We're going to take these rounds back as they get 2 free picks there and moving on to the last one. Nice and easy. Rugi will go down. That'll be a 4-2 up for Right Turtle going into the half.
Yeah, they said a 3-3. We don't like a 3-3. You got your 2 rounds. That's all we're giving you. 4-2 seems much better for us. How about that? And they really make it happen there in that last round. But we talked about it. We were saying there, as a lot of action unfolded in the round previous, they have been here before. This is a map that Rome's Bandits have been down, and they've been down worse. They've been down 5-1, and they came back and went on a streak and closed it out. And that was phenomenal from them. They played it exceptionally well. Can they do it again? Can they do it again, but against a team the caliber of Right Turtle? That is a tall order.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And we have EMS hovering over the Chark this time, which I do think I prefer. Actually, can I switch it up? I think they're thinking, you know what, EMS, let's put you on the Glimpse. I think Drew is just feeling a little bit uncomfortable on the Glimpse today, just from what we're seeing. You know, he sometimes can pop off really hard. Sometimes I think he wants to give it over to EMS so he can give it a go. And Drew picks up these picks like the Ronin, or in this case, the Chark. I think that's probably the better game plan going in here. I think EMS I think EMS is feeling himself just a little bit more. He wants to take these 1v1s, wants to take these positions out on the flank, wants to be a bit more aggressive, and that's why he's going to opt for the glimpse here,
and it's
as opposed to
good
Drew.
that they have that ability, that they're a versatile team. I mean, Prosper's a Dahlia, but you know, other than that, the other two, they can swap off. They can change that. They say, you know what? I don't want to glimpse this half. I don't want to glimpse this map. You take that. I'm going to chalk. I'm going to play Scorch. You play Scorch. You know, they change things up. On the other side, this is a pretty standard comp. We've seen a lot throughout this tournament having those sort a Dahlia, a Scorch, and a glimpse. This is as common as it gets, basically. Again, the only change is the chalk, which is the other common character. So.
Of course. And yeah, I said I think the on the defensive side here, Scorch is good. The incendiary grenade can be thrown to get them off the plant, which is usually pretty easy to get in the position of. And as we see it there, it comes down. Hizzy's able to pick up a kill with it. As I'm speaking it into existence, that kill will come down. And now is a 3 versus 2 coming in here. And nade coming in. We know that Prosper's known for his nades.
There's two things Prosper's known for: Dahlia and grenades.
Yes,
those are the two things, and he's bringing them both out in full force. And we are here into a 2 versus 3, and that's a cleanup right there, if I've ever seen one, coming out from Rome's Bandits, able to take down Right Turtle without a problem there at the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're evening out the scoreboard just a little bit now. We're looking at 4-3, still in favor of Right Turtles by 1, but they're closing that gap are Rome's Bandits. And I think this is the kind of momentum and the kind of close game that I was talking about that we needed.
You asked for it, Rad.
I did.
And looking at these, this is the weapons are coming out. We're seeing that. I'm not sure on the other side if they're gonna be able to buy anything. We do. Okay, Prosper's able to get a DMR out. Pistol, it looks like, for EMS, and the LMPX coming out for Drew. So we actually do have some weapons on the board. I was starting to wonder, what did they spend? What was out there? What their economy looked like? So it's almost a full-on even matchup. We are still going to have a pistol that looks like on Drew. KO whipping that Hydra back out over on the Glimpse. Taking a look here at the A-bomb site. They're doing a slightly more, I guess, standard setup. They're going 1-1-1 on this, and I know that might not be like the default play, but like a standard in terms of just spreading the map, trying to watch everything at once, because this is a map where you can get pinched if you don't watch that middle position. He is watching it currently from the A side, Rugi here, as you can see, but at this time, no action coming their way. It's definitely a slower play from Right Turtle at this point.
Absolutely, and I kind of like this idea, honestly. They've done some aggressive rounds. They've seen Rome's Bandit do some aggressive rounds. They opted for just a little more of a safe round. You know, using EMS there, probably to get him up close. He can ping where people are using that glimpse passive, and there's a good idea here. They're just now trying to, you said, move into position.
They've gained so much ground, Rad.
They really are. They're really up there. I'm surprised they're not being punished a little bit harder. As the grenade comes down, will not find anything, as nobody is up there on that balcony. And it's given covering fire. Okay, now this time Prosper gets a shot off, but doesn't, in fact, get shot himself. This is definitely a slower paced start. 31 HP on Drew. Got to be careful of the incense coming there. He sees it being cooked. He needs to roll out. He actually throws it behind. That was a really good position on that incense. Drew very low. Grenade coming out. Will it find him? It will not. As Prosper to find 2 shots through the smoke to take KO nice and low. Drew's able to finish that.
Look at that time, though. 15 seconds. They're on the site, but no bomb is down.
They have to get that down now. Or play for the last kill.
Yeah, play for the last kill or get that bomb. Now, those are your 2 options. They're going to pick the one where the player doesn't get to see the bomb go down, taking that Scorch out. And they're back in this one. And that is with 1 gun being left out, right?
Yes.
So, interesting.
Yeah, I think it was EMS with 1 gun down there on the Glimpse. He was he had the pistol. I actually do think that Rugi didn't have a gun that time as well, because the Executioner, because he opted for Lifeline first on his Dahlia, if I'm not mistaken there.
So a little even.
A little bit even, yeah. But I'm going to be honest, I prefer the P12K on the Glimpse to the Executioner on the Dahlia. It's just personal preference from me. I think silence weapons. I like how they shoot. You know, reminds me of the Padded Steps days where I could walk around silently. But yeah, 5-3 now, moving in. Right Turtle up by 2 rounds, but I feel like composure is kept by both teams right now. They both know it's even, and until they get to the match point on the side of Rome's Bandit, I'm not really too worried for them, and I'm sure they're not too worried either until that 6th round comes in either way.
Yeah, I mean, a 2-round disadvantage at 5-3, you're comfortable with that. You know, you're definitely not shaking in your boots quite yet, and even then, teams this level, they've been here before, you never get in your head like, okay, this is over. You know, especially if you're only a couple of rounds behind.
Exactly.
And Tarp on it again. They were down 5-1 and they didn't give up. So 5-3, they're not having a problem with that at all. They also took a map, so they know that they can do it. Just got to stay calm and figure it out. It's these really slow, methodical rounds coming out of Prosper, EMS, and Drew that are really interesting to me. And again, that ping, they're getting the information that's allowing them to say, hey, I only got one. I got one ping. That means there's 2 somewhere else. Maybe we should just try to take this B-bomb site, see what we can do there. And that's causing that rotation. And they have some time, right? We're approaching 45 seconds left. There's some rotations coming in from KO as well as he swings over to B, because I think they've read the situation pretty well on the side of Rome's Bandits.
Yeah, they're definitely moving KO over here just to support in case he does get posted, and it does seem like it's going to happen. Remember, they know where Hizzy is from that ping. The fire does come down. Drew's just going to move back a little bit. Drew's just trying to stay alive, but Prosper will find Hizzy. Get re-down with the Semtex from Hizzy as KO just invis walks really close up and forward, and he will go down himself. Now that is going to be a little bit of an iffy situation as it's just left down to Rugi alone and the Dahlia. With 10 seconds left on the clock almost, they are getting the bomb down, and Rugi pushes, trying to stop it, but will not stop it in time. And that is now the match point that I said they should be afraid of.
Reading his lips, he said, you have no idea what I just did. And now he's explaining it to him. It must have been a very impressive play. Well, I know we saw the nade that he threw. That didn't do anything. So he must have missed exactly what it was. But, you know, we'll have to ask him too. You know, perhaps in a winner's interview, maybe in another day. Because, you know, it's not over yet. Rum's Bandits can bring this back. We'll have to ask them. Do you remember what they did?
What was Prosper doing in that moment? Prosper, honestly, put in some really good work so far. I really liked him. Normally it's the EMS round, the EMS show for a map, or the Drew show for a map. This whole series, actually, I'm going to give it to Prosper. Whilst, you know, Drew and EMS are doing their thing as they always do, I think it's Prosper that have done really well to hold them together and just provide constant DMR cover, constant just help and support and guidance as their team's IGL. And now the acceleration of the fight is accelerating, and EMS is somehow just gone down, but he somehow managed to get Hizzy in that thing, and Drew will finish that kill. They're now 2 versus 2. Chark Dahlia versus Dahlia Glimpse. What is going to happen as the fight is about to unfold? Prosper again covering fire here, and just going to try and stay close to Drew. Links are not available to either person. By the way, the Dahlia link went down to the 2 players who did get eliminated. So we're just going to straight up gunfight here.
Yeah, 2 versus 2, guns only. Maybe a little bit of utility. Haven't seen everybody quite yet. Maybe there's a flash, maybe there's a nade, but thus far it's not looking like it was rotated through the players, and there's still 50 seconds left on the clock, so you can make any sort of play. You don't have to commit to a side at this point. Now, in the next 15, 20 seconds, you will, and it looks like they've decided a decent amount of damage, about half HP remaining here on Drew. They're on the site playing Chalk, but again, what is Prosper doing? He's looking over him. He's protecting them. There's no utility to force him out of the position, so let him get that plant. Now, the question is, does he just stay? Does he risk rolling out and taking the damage to say, I'll stay on the site? If they try to come after me, if they try to get aggressive, I know Prosper's got me, but Rugi's here to hold Prosper. So this is going to be an interesting one. KO's decided to go for the rotation, wants to shake things up a little bit, says, let's try to approach this from a different angle, because from here, he can force the fight with the player on the site, but Drew has already left.
Not only does Drew go out, Drew also still has his ultimate available with him on that Chuck. So he has the additional health they can play with. Now the double ping comes out, they know exactly where they are, and they're going to go for the fight right here. Drew didn't get the ult off in time. The res is coming through, and Prosper covers him, as we know he can do. Now with the self-res coming out, punch and a swing, Prosper raises his arms, dance a little bit on the cam.
And it's Right Turtle.
Absolutely, Right Turtle taking the win there, as somewhat predicted, but it was a well-fought series there from Rome's Bandits as well. Definitely putting up a fight, showing that they deserve to be in the upper bracket, where they put in a good performance.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you took the loss, but I think going into this one, this was like a really tough competition from them. Very, very tough competition from them. They took this match further than I had anticipated. I think some others had anticipated. We thought it might be a 2-0, and instead they opened up with the win.
Yes.
They did get dominated in map 2. I mean, now we can skip over that for a second, but map 3, they put up a good fight.
More even,
it was more even. They were able to get back in there and start to make some things happen, but in the end, I mean, it's just the way that the team plays together on the opposite side. The Right Turtle squad, even in the last round, Prosper is there to help. Yeah, Drew, you held on to your ult. You didn't crack it in time. Oh, you want a res now? Don't worry, I got you.
Absolutely, and I think that is Prosper in a nutshell, that he is the father figure standing over. I keep saying it, but it's so accurate. He's just watching over his 2 fraggers there and trying to keep them alive, and he just did this so well. For me, I said he takes MVP of that series there because of how well he did his role, how cool and calm and collected he stayed and kept the other 2 in those situations, especially after what I'm going to consider for them a pretty surprising loss for them.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole performance was spectacular. Again, from both sides, it was respectable. There's nothing to be ashamed of for either team. Then they're not out, right? They're going down to the lower bracket, Rome's Bandits. They're still in it. We could get a rematch later on. Maybe there's going to be a bit of a shakeup. But to hear more about how this match went and some other thoughts, we're going to throw it back to the desk.
Yeah, down but not out. That's the exact phrase I would use here. Rome's Bandits, not exactly the performance they wanted today. On the other side, right, Turtle? Well, maybe exactly what they wanted. A little bit of a warm-up. If you ask them, right, GK, you come into it, they're going to say that was a warm-up map. Things just went wrong there on lockdown. But Icarus, Hollows, whatever it was they needed, things really clicked together, and it felt like every other round, it was someone different stepping up at the end there. We got to see a little bit of a fearsome 2 fight from Prosper and from Drew, but I think every single person on the team got to pop off. Whether you want to look at it as an unfortunate win or a win, that's great for them. They're going to go up against Blackhand next, so it's going to be something that is difficult, but that's going forward in the bracket. This was, I think, something that we have to say impressive from both sides. Rome's Bandits pushing us to 3, despite some expectations to maybe only see 2 games, and Right Turtle kind of correcting the ship after a very rocky start.
I have to agree, and when we saw Rome's Bandits take that first map, everybody was a bit shaken up, I can't even lie. But I feel like the Right Turtles probably just took that as a warm-up, as we just said, first game of the day, had to take a kick on the back, like just to push them forward. And as soon as they did get the flow going, they were kind of unstoppable. And shout out again, we have been saying it, to Prosper. He's basically the guardian of Rogue.
Yeah.
He will not let you die. And it's so frustrating for the enemy team when you're playing against a player who literally locks into their Rogue. They become their Rogue. And that's actually how you master them. You have to fulfill the role you have to the max degree, and Prosper is so good at that.
I mean, it was one of the things they had said, like, there's 2 things Prosper's going to be known for. It's his nades, and it's his dolly. It's like, if you only got 2 things going for you, you got to be really good at it. And he, continuously going back to the point where, it starts to make you question, like, okay, look, I understand you got to get rid of some of the meta rogues. You only got 1 ban, you can't mess around with it too much. But would it be worth it to make Prosper quote-unquote uncomfortable, right? Forcing him onto a different rogue, probably going to be a little more difficult. You ban the Dahlia, you let something else that's super powerful in. Maybe it doesn't work out, but it feels like there's a conversation to be had there that maybe even outside of the game, you could try to tackle Right Turtle a different way.
I mean, at the point where a Dahlia is top fragging on your team or the opposing team, you really do have to question yourself at that point. He's sitting at the back of the map and getting the most kills. Maybe you do ban that rogue. He has been playing it for over a year now, and successfully, right?
He's winning a lot.
But the problem is, we saw him get banned on lockdown yesterday, and he brought the Talon in, and it was just as effective because he is so good with the Deadeye. So he's actually crafted not only the rogue, but also the weaponry that comes with it. And that's what makes him such an impactful player.
Yeah. Very difficult to deal with, and Prosper's just 1/3 of the problem. You get MS, you get Drew in the mix, and all of a sudden they become an entirely different team to try and beat down. Tomorrow, Right Turtle is going to be playing up against Blackhand. It's going to be a very fun matchup to watch. But for now, as you saw in the bracket, we're going to be jumping back down to the bottom. Eliminations are on the horizon. Bulletproof, Aerial Arise, a rematch from the very first set yesterday is what we're going to be going into. But we're going to kick it to a quick break, and when we come back, we have the rematch.